Hey guys, Aaron from houseofha.com, and I would like to welcome you to the lovely wilderness that is Mount Shasta. Melody and I got here to our campsite this evening. We're just setting up. We have this beautiful sunset we wanted to share with you. So here's what happened today. We had a beautiful camp spot last night where it rained. We made a really cool shelter out of a couple tarps and a bunch of our stuff to extend out the back of our truck to make a place to live. Left there, got on the road, and came up to this beautiful spot. And as we were setting up our campsite, you know, just random stuff that you don't expect happens, like when you're unpacking things and a whole, like, round jug full of Grimbo's dog food just decides to dump itself out all across the floor. The entire bucket. Not one piece left inside there.
Even though it was taped.
It was taped. The tape didn't do jack for something that did like this triple Lindsay, you know, somersault down off the end and busted open. This is an issue. It's not like you just spilled dog food at your house because this is bear country. There's a bear box. We knew this. We saw the bear sign when we came in here. Not a big deal. We go to places with bears all the time. But we have to go down there, which means we have to pick up every single one of those pieces of tiny dog food. Oh, yeah, and guess what? Dog food's brown. Guess what color the ground is? Brown. And it's in like a little bit of tiny rocks and stuff. So anyway, you get the idea that it was a big pain in the ass. So we're down there having to pick this stuff up, and it doesn't do good for the mood for either one of Melody or I. So we're down there picking this stuff up, and the guy walks over, the camp host, and he looks at our tag. We already paid for our campsite for the night. Comes over and he starts, apparently I didn't write the date on the tag on the post, and I didn't write how many days we're going to be staying here, or how many nights. And he started asking, have you camped before? You're familiar with bear boxes? This kind of stuff. He was asking me questions, and I don't know, I wasn't in the mood. Wasn't kind of having it, so I was a bit of a dick to him. Not, like, directly, but I was very short and abrupt with him, like, I got better things to do with my time. Please go away. Yes, I know how to camp. After I picked up all the dog food, after I sat down and, like, picked up every one of those little pieces of dog food and had time to think about, you know, being a jerk to a guy, so when we got done picking it up, I walked over to his camp. He was the camp host, so I walked to his campsite, and I introduced myself, and I apologized, and I said, I'm really sorry. I was like, no fault of your own, but you picked the worst time for, like, me to want to, like, talk to someone and answer questions. I was like, however, that does not excuse rudeness, so I'm very sorry. He was very nice. He said he wasn't offended, and he shook my hand. He said he's like, you're not rude with the fact you come in and do this, so it was very nice. Start a conversation with them, because camp hosts are good people to know. If you go camping someplace, get to know your camp hosts and the park rangers. These are people who know the area, know like what will eat you and what will give you like rashes. So these are good people to make friends with. So I got more of the digs on the bear situation just to make sure there's nothing special about his bears here. There wasn't. Basic thing, don't leave your food out. They're not going to come around to like the cars and stuff. And then we start telling about our journey and our travel, about House of Ha-Ha, our nomadic journeys and the videos and the whole thing we're doing. And he was, of course he said, he was like, you got room for another, which I said is a very common question we get. people want to jump in the car with us. Then I asked him, I was like, what is your name, by the way? And he said, my name is Narayan. Thank you. God, I told you, I keep forgetting to ask that man 3 times. No, his name is Narayan. And I was like, that is really neat name. I was like, what is that? He was like, that's Indian. This man did not look Indian at all. So when I say Indian, I don't mean like Native American. I'm referring to like, from the country of India. And he said he was a monk. So apparently he was a Tibetan monk there. That's right. That's where Tibet's right there off India, right? Mm-hmm. Tree Tibet? Oh, yeah. All right. So that's what I make sure I'm saying the right stuff.
All up there in the mountains.
Exactly.
Whatnot.
So anyway, Narayan apparently moved to India at some point, gave up his old life, and became a monk. Shaved the head, wear the orange robes, the whole thing. And I was like, that is amazing. I was like, you're messing with me. He's like, no. I was like, and now you're a camp host. I go, you were a monk in India, and now you're hosting camps and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I guess. So I was very excited about it. I was like, what was your name before that? He's like, John. And I was like, I like the new one better. So I think it was important. Maybe in the karmatic level, I felt that I was rude to someone. No fault of their own, just because they caught me at a bad moment, and I was inconsiderate to that person. I think the fact that I know I did that to a monk is even more important. That I went back and corrected, that error. Because I believe in karma, and I think if you insult a monk or just kind of a dick to someone, like maybe in general, but I know maybe it carries more weight as a monk. I don't know. They probably disagree. Anyway, that's our story today. And, you know what you're probably curious about with the same things that Narayan asked us. He says, where are you going from here? Where are we going from here, Melody? North, I think.
Oh, lava beds. Lava beds, National Monument.
Because we are near a volcano. This is a true story.
We're traveling the volcanic legacy.
The volcanic
scenic byway.
The volcanic scenic legacy byway.
Sort of in those order. Somewhat in that order.
Those series of words in some way. That's where we are and what we're doing. Can I tell you a little short story about volcanoes and Mount Shasta and me? Do we have time for that?
How much time do you want?
I don't want to waste these people's time, so I guess I'll get to the story then.
Go.
Anyway, as a small child, I grew up in Yuba City, which is in the Central Valley of California. And when my mom and my stepfather first got married, we ended up moving from there up to Redding. Well, when they were selling us about moving to Redding, which is up here in the Northern California, area, they were like, it's beautiful, there's redwoods, and there's volcanoes. But as soon as they had a brochure. They showed a brochure showing me pictures of Mount Lhasa and Mount Shasta. And I was like maybe 4 years old at this time, something like that. Like maybe 5 years old. And I was 5 years old because I was going to in the first grade when we moved up to Redding. And I was terrified. I mean, I cried and I begged them, please don't. These volcanoes are going to kill us. They're going to erupt. We're all going to die. It's going to be, like you've seen the movies Dante's Peak, like, with, what's that dude, the James Bond guy?
Pierce Brosnan?
That's the one. Pierce Brosnan, that guy.
Remington Steele.
Yeah, that movie is basically what my childhood nightmares look like. Because I used to look out my window as a kid and I could see Mount Shasta. From the window, and I'd look at it and I'd have these nightmares about that volcano exploding and erupting and like lava coming at you. So I had this really weird relationship with Mount Shasta and Mount Lhasa, because it was something that I was really terrified as a kid because I was convinced it was going to kill me. But at the same time, my parents would bring me up here as a kid and took us out to like Mount Lhasa, where you got to see like the sulfur pits and like all the not geysers, but hot springs and things like that, and all the geology and the science and all the cool stuff that comes along, with being around a place that has volcanic activity, in that area. So that I grew to appreciate it and found it very interesting. They don't freak me out anymore, but that's a little story about me and my childhood and this place that we're camping right now.
But we could technically die though still.
Oh yeah, straight up, totally possible. Right. That thing could blow itself. You feel your safety you're feeling an illusion.
There's no safety anywhere.
We're going to be going at some point, maybe in Mount St. Helens, and I heard some friends that's been rocking lately. So,
all right, wrap it up.
All right, it's time to go. We're going to go make some dinner. I got some potatoes to grill and some soup to put in a pot. So, thank you for checking in. Go to houseodd.com and have a reasonable day.